Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. So this is program Innovative Pakistan with Dr. Aftab, with our guest today, Dr. Zartasha and Dr. Usman. Both are the scientists from National University of Sciences and Technology, and we are having the discussion on Academia Industry Linkage. So initially we learned from Dr. Zartasha about our education and career journey. So let's talk about Dr. Usman now.
My career started back in 2008 when I completed my master's in information security from NUST. Then I started working at Concerts University. Back in 2012, I went to USA, to North Dakota State University. From there, I did my PhD in electrical and computer engineering with specialization in recommender system and artificial intelligence.
Right.
And throughout my career, I mixed the two fields, that's artificial intelligence and information security in all my projects. And this is my background.
Okay, excellent. So this is like even before the program, we were having discussion that AI is the future tech, and everybody is now talk about the AI. So we are really lucky to have Dr. Usman with us today, so to talk about the AI and the impact of AI on the industry, and also we'll definitely talk about the Academia Industry Linkages and what you have done so far in this area, because you are also leading that program. So let's briefly talk to Dr. Zartasha, and please tell us what kind of projects you are doing in Pakistan. Like after you told that after you're completing of your PhD, you moved to Pakistan. So what was your motivation of coming to Pakistan? Because mostly researchers, they stay in, if they are in Germany and UK or US, they stay there. And it's very hard to see anybody who has completed either if they are on HEC scholarship, then they have to move back, and if they are not on that, then it's very hard to see anybody is moving. So what was your motivation of coming back to Pakistan, and then briefly tell us what kind of projects you are doing now?
Absolutely right. Actually, since I was a recipient of the international funding, so I had no obligations and boundaries to come back to Pakistan. And honestly, if I be very honest with you, I had no intention to come to Pakistan in the beginning when I was doing PhD.
Okay.
But as soon as I finished my PhD, I started thinking about doing something for Pakistan and coming back and doing something different. Unfortunately, the only fear I had when I wanted to come to Pakistan was because my field was not very famous in Pakistan, which was biomechanics. And it has so much community and society benefits people are unaware of that you cannot actually believe it.
Right.
This is such an interdisciplinary field where you work with the humans, you work with the human performance, you work with how you move, how you do different exercises, how you can maintain a healthy lifestyle. And it involves the cutting edge engineering methods, cutting edge computer science techniques. Not only this, it also involves a lot of the imaging modalities. So it is actually cutting interface between medical, computer science and engineering. So without these knowledge from three different disciplines, it is impossible to do projects which have a profound impact on the economy of Pakistan.
Right.
So when I came back, interdisciplinarity was my keyword, and at that time there was no interdisciplinary school at NUST.
Right.
So I joined initially in 2014, which was then Research Center for Modeling and Simulation, which is now named as Science. So it is about 12 years it has a 12 years of the history. So initially it was RCMS, then it became SNICE, and then it became Science. So I actually know the evolution of how things have been evolved. So I actually introduced biomechanics program under the umbrella of biomedical engineering, where people wanted to work about sports biomechanics, health biomechanics, then the lifestyle biomechanics as well. Where you're going for gymming without any purpose. People think you're gymming because you maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I always tell my students, when you go to the gym, you don't build your bones, you build your muscles.
Right.
It's very important. This whole the human body is like a machine design. It's a mechanical system. So my PhD addresses these mechanical system, the machine design, and then how you basically optimize its performance. And I think it took me 8 to 9 years to build a whole state-of-the-art lab, biomechanics lab, which is now present in School of Interdisciplinary Engineering and Sciences, and we are doing quite cutting-edge research. Some of my really good projects include, I've done some work in brain biomechanics, where scientists who clinicians actually spend a lot of time figuring it out, like if people have intracranial pressures because of anxiety, stress, or accidental injuries.
Right.
So there comes the need of the mathematical modeling and computational techniques to understand that you can actually do something non-invasively, which means that you don't have to deal with the body of the human, and just by getting some imaging modality data set like MRI, you can do a lot of stuff. So it was one of the finest project that I did with the algorithm that actually just takes, it's an input, the MRI scans, and determine what kind of the pressure do you have in your brain, and tells you about the like your state. And then recently as well, one of the, and we use like state-of-the-art motion capture system. You have seen our lab.
Yeah, that's like very fascinating to see those equipments.
Yeah,
and
so there are
everything.
plenty of cameras like on the ceiling. You walk and then do some activities. The cameras record your motions. We use that motion files and bring you the best of yourself. So this is a kind of the research. Another good project that I'm doing at the moment is in the astronautics. So we are working on the joint mechanics of the astronauts.
Okay.
So like we walk in on the earth with a normal gravity, when we are in the space, there's a microgravity or a zero gravity. When you are actually encountering a external environment, a zero gravity situation, your joints, if you know the health thing, your joints experience a lot of fatigue because you're not moving. There's no gravity to push you apart, and then you have to do some exercise like bungees and all that. So we are trying to figure it out that how we can retain astronauts for longer time in the space, जो कि हमारे space international programs हैं उसके लिए. So then it's really one of the very fine projects that we are doing. Yeah.
That's interesting. So because we are actually having short time, and we really want to invite them once again so we can have more discussion on the projects, very interesting projects that they are doing. So coming to Dr. Usman, so what was your motivation of coming to Pakistan, and what kind of projects you are doing?
I went to USA on the scholarship from the HSE and concerts.
Okay.
So I was bounded that I have to come back and serve for 5 years.
Right.
In replacement for that scholarships. So that was the main reason. I came back, and then I started again with the concerts.
Okay.
In the USA, my PhD revolves around the usage of recommender system, and especially in the disaster areas. Say if a city is coming up in some disaster part, how the people will be evacuated from there.
Wow, that's very important.
And then we came back. I mostly, because there was a shortage of equipment, so we started working on the social media analysis. Utilization of artificial intelligence on social media.
Right.
There I tried to find out from finding medical doctors in the social media to come up with the problem that there were many spammers. So how to remove those spammers from the quality people we are trying to find out.
Okay.
And 4 to 5 years I worked on that mostly area. Then I got a big project from National Center of Cybersecurity. We started utilizing an analysis of network traffic.
Okay.
And we tried to identify which type of video is being watched by some person on the network. And for 3 years, I mostly concentrated on that project. And last year I joined science. And I started on 2 different projects, a similar project that I was previously doing, and another one that I saw that was very less currently in Pakistan, that even in the universities, when we take the attendance of in the classes, all of them were being done manually.
Right.
And I was giving a thesis that AI has been advanced so much that we can make an attendance automatic through the facial recognition.
Okay.
So
interesting.
I'm working on that one. In the future plans that I'm sending to the academia and industry both, that we have to come up with a tutor, AI tutor that can teach in the class.
Okay.
That is in the future that I'm looking for different industry. I'm trying to pitch it in front of many people and to the industry and academia both. That future of AI is in the classroom.
Right.
That as a human, being a teacher myself for the last 15 years, often we also forget many things. Despite we are teaching the same subjects for a long number of, for many years.
That's true.
Sometimes we forget.
That's true.
But machines do not forget. And most of the content that we teach in the class used to be the repetitive.
Right.
that 5 years ago we were teaching the same thing from the same textbook. With a minor difference, we are teaching the same thing.
Right.
These things can be taken up by the AI. So if AI can take these stuff, professors can be relaxed to do more of the research work.
That's true.
So we can separate the professor's job away from the teaching workload. And this will, I'm expecting this will happen in the next 5 to 10 years throughout the world.
I think it will be even pretty soon, because the advancements are there's like so much pace that things are coming up so fast.
Yes.
So the projects you are doing are really interesting, and I will really like that you may spare some time once again and we can discuss more,
Sure.
because the evacuation is very important. There are so many cities which are facing so many challenges, so we can definitely discuss that. In Pakistan, like the cities like Islamabad and Rawalpindi, if we talk about Lahore or Islamabad, the bigger cities, can we have a better evacuation plan like for these cities? And also that's the discussion we'll definitely have in future. So coming to the topic, that's very important. So in Pakistan, actually, we haven't seen any interdisciplinary research institute, although like I've been to so many countries, and wherever I have gone and the universities I have worked, there are always interdisciplinary research center, and they are very important, because in order to like go for innovation, interdisciplinary research is important, interdisciplinary research centers are important. So in Pakistan, I remember that there is a one center in Kamsaz University, that is interdisciplinary research center in biomaterials. I think that was in Kamsaz, Lahore. So that's the only center I know before science. So what was the motivation like having a science, and what impact it is creating?
Actually, I think what I can recall from a few of the talks which were given by the previous deans of the school was that when NUST was founded, there was something, the founding rector of the NUST, he wrote a book and about NUST and how NUST could be propelled in a direction, and what could be the steering, direction of NUST. And in this book, actually, he wrote that NUST is going to touch the heights of success if there could be a big pillar of interdisciplinarity.
Right.
So, taking from that, I still remember my ex-dean was saying that, that one day there will be an interdisciplinary school in NUST. So the only thing NUST could see having an interdisciplinary school was RCMS, because Research Center of Modeling and Simulation has 18 different specialization at that time.
Okay.
That was a lot, you see, and and it was all a PG based school, which means only PhD and MS. When you have a whole lot of a UG student, the system becomes very busy, and there is a very small room for innovation.
Right.
But when you have a PG student, there is a pause, there's a subtle changes that probably you can have time to think about and all that. So in 2021, science was conceived as a school of science. The acronym SINES is School of Interdisciplinary Engineering and Sciences.
Okay.
So this acronym actually stands for this, and this was one of the Pakistan's first school in all the disciplines, because you said that you have seen the interdisciplinary center in biomaterials and composites Lahore. This school particularly encompasses all the fields which are driven by the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN as well.
Interesting.
So and out of those 17 SDGs, we follow 5 to 6 SDGs very nicely with our 32 R&D labs within science.
Wow.
So science is characterized by 32 research and development labs, 11 industries housed within science, to make sure that the industry and the academia collaborate with each other. Not only this, we have the nation's fastest supercomputing facility, which is 1.25 petaflops in its computational capability, and which is further divided into 4 clusters, and all have their unique capabilities to solve the problem, which are very high end.
Right.
So if you want to be a part of science, you must be a computer scientist, and you must know maths and physics.
Okay.
And then you apply any area, you choose any area of application, that's going to be possible very nicely. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the challenge in Pakistan, like I've been in different meetings since like my university age. So I remember that even before 2010, I used to join the meetings on Academia Industry Linkages, and since then we are often just talking about the Academia Industry Linkages. I can give just one example of US. For example, the R&D budget a few years back was 750 billion US dollars, and almost equal quantity or equal amount was contributed from the industry. So this is like how much they are working together, taking the academia and industry. So in Pakistan, we often see that there is a challenge bringing the industry on board. So how you are overcoming this challenge, and how you are setting like some successful examples.
Within the science, what we are doing, we are inviting different companies to come and give some seminars, workshops,
Okay.
and internships within the science, so that students who are graduating right now, they should see what they have to do in the industry, what type of roles they have to take in the industry.
Right.
So bringing them together at one place, we are trying so that their match should be made. This is our policy that we are trying to do it out.
Okay.
Overall in Pakistan, what we see it out, why a lot of industry academia do not happen, the biggest reason is at the academic sides. We teach a lot undergraduate in the universities as well. That takes, as ma'am was saying, takes a lot of time of the
Right.
professors. After that, the professors become too tired. If
Definitely.
all the time they are teaching it out, they do not have a time for go and work with the industry as
Yeah.
well.
That's true.
If you look back before 2000, before the start of semester system, there was a year system, and in the year system, teaching and evaluation was totally separated.
Right.
Within 2 years, in the degree colleges, undergraduate was being taught. Universities were only taking the exams.
Right.
Professors were free most of the time. They were doing some different, they were taking industry as well as the higher side of research side.
Right.
We had seen Dr. Abdul Salam, one of the best in Pakistan. But as soon as we shifted it out to semester system,
Right.
we bring the undergraduate within the universities. It's good for from the financial perspective, but the faculty got a lot engaged,
That's true.
and when they are engaged, they mostly do not have time for further research plus industry academia linkage.
Yeah.
So these are the drawbacks that keep both the industry and academia outside. Second, industry always need very immediate solutions.
That's true.
When you are totally busy, you have to fulfill your KPIs that regarding the all teaching workload. You will not have time to fulfill all the requirement coming from the industry. That need within 1 week or 2 weeks, you have to finish some project. And unless some industry really want that they are funding you and taking all your mental capabilities in their projects. So these are few things that are keeping industry and academia separate.
Right.
What I used to convey to people, that if you really want industry and academia linkage, just like science, we have to come up with the graduate schools, masters and PhD.
Right.
When people will be fully focused on the research, will be less focused on the historical textbooks, they will be putting more effort into the research projects and the prototypes and patents.
Right.
Then industry will also be looking to those professors. This is what science is doing currently right now. So these are the things that we are trying to pitch. And for industry, we say always mostly every week we are calling them, giving them space within the school in front of our students and faculty.
Okay.
That come, tell what you are doing, what you expect from our students, so that student and industry should look at each other, and we should be able to find a best match.
Great. So it's really great to see that, as Dr. Zartasha mentioned, that there are like more than 30 interdisciplinary laboratories, and there are more than 11 industries now.
Yeah.
So what are some of the success stories? Like what do you think like this industry is really creating an impact is the success story that we can portray to other universities that they can come up with the similar model?
I mean, at the first instance, what I would say is the establishment of an interdisciplinary center itself is one of the success story, number one. And you see, since we see from its inception, it's only 2 years old. I mean, I cannot actually count like big successes because it's very difficult to make sure that the industry and the academicians are collaborating with each other.
Right.
Academicians are very, like traditional in their behavior. They want to just work in the silos and on their desk and don't disturb and all that.
Right.
Industry is like proactive, outgoing, marketing and all that. Academia is a place where you get a lot of theoretical and foundational concepts.
Right.
Industry is more like, what is the product. They don't care how the product has been made. They just worry about the product, the time, the delivery of the thing and all that. But despite of this, what I've seen after the establishment of SCIENCE, a lot of faculty members who have established their labs here, they actually they started their spin-offs, which
Great.
means that there is a trend of the academicians started thinking about the commercialization of their research,
That's
which
true.
is one of the success story, of course.
Yes.
And then some of the industries, taking interest in the academicians as well. And the second thing I think I see, the system actually gets exhausted when industry do not understand what academia wants, and when
Right.
academia do not understand what industry wants. And unfortunately or fortunately, the corporate sector and the academic sectors are like two ways apart. Like it's an east and west. We have a lot of KPIs which significantly something like the performance metrics, your H index, your citations, your number of publications. It's just suffocating the professors too much.
That's true. That's true.
And that's how, if you want to build this relationship amicably, it is important that you should release academicians about this performance metrics and let them think freely and breathe free and think about science
Very,
from
very
the scratch.
important. Yeah.
So I think this is something I would like to say. Yeah.
So it's actually time is very short because we have to go for the news break, and I will definitely request once again both the professors, because there is a lot more to talk about what they are doing, especially the biomechanics work
Yeah.
that Dr. Zartasha is doing, that AI Dr. Usman is doing. So because we are running short of time, so just we take their messages now. So what they want to like convey to our listeners. So we start with Dr. Usman, that like especially talking about the Academia Industry Linkages, if you are focusing on this and convey your message.
From the linkage point of view, I always say that we have to look at the scorecard. For the linkage, we have to see how many patents are coming out from the industry and academia linkage, and other for only academic sides, how many Nobel Prize are coming to the Pakistan. So these things are in front of us. I do not have to tell what is happening.
Okay.
We can guess.
That's really excellent message. So now to Dr. Zartasha. So what you would like to say?
I think the one very important message that I want to convey through this platform is that, this is an era of data science, AI, and machine learning. And people are just following it without even thinking that how they're going to apply these techniques on the systems. So the difference between the coding, the data science, and the engineering should be set apart. People should not lose their connection to the center, which is the engineering and science as a core. So after down the year, like after 5 years, 4 years, there will be death of AI, let's assume. Then who would you define yourself? Who are you?
Right.
It is very important that students, the faculty, the stakeholders, they should start thinking about they should not disconnect with their core and make sure that they use AI, responsibly. Not like just because everyone is doing it, number one. Number two, as a nation, I think we should have to be true to ourselves and honest to ourselves. And it's very important. If we want to make a difference in society, we should make sure that how we must maintain our integrity. So what we are saying, we must be doing it in the back as well. This is, I think, the message that I would like to, send to the people.
Okay, very nice messages from both the researchers. They are very, very important because as Dr. Zartasha and Dr. Usman mentioned, that one thing is very important, that we should also concentrate on our core subjects. That's also very important. Another thing is that's also true for our nation and also for the researchers, is the integrity. So we shouldn't compromise that. That's very important. And if we have to build successful industry academia linkages, integrity is also very important, that that the trust, the integrity, we have to maintain that. So with this, because we are going for the news break, so we are thankful to Dr. Zartasha for sparing time
Thank you very
to join the program today, and Dr. Usman
Thank you.
for coming to the program. And once again, we are hopeful that they will join us once again, and we'll have more
Sure.
discussion on the subject. Thank you very much once
Thank
again.
Thank you.